Hey everybody, my name is Fraser. Welcome back to my channel. So as many of you might know, I've been working on my game rated Mutant. But unfortunately, I ran into a few setbacks with some graphical things, and it kind of brought me to the realization that I probably should collaborate with people more. I know a lot of really talented people, and I should give them a chance and actually collaborate with them. So that's what I plan to do. But that also got me on the thought of, that means my credit page should acknowledge these people. And then I had the thought of, why don't I just create a credits page, right? For me, progress in games never seem real until you start building various systems and menus and stuff like that. So I figured I'd take the time and create a credits page. And what I did was so simple and cool that I thought, hey, let's just go ahead and make a tutorial for YouTube as well. So yeah, make sure that you guys like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, all that jazz to continue getting updates not only on Rating Mutant, but when I drop a new tutorial. If you guys are curious what we're going to make and what it looks like this. Alright, so let's get into this tutorial. Alright, so for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to go ahead and start a new project. So I'm going to go into Unity Hub, click New, we'll just do 2D, and we will choose a new location. How about we go to 2020 Unity Project, select folder here, and we're going to call this Credits Test. We're going to wait for Unity to take 2 evers to actually finish loading up and whatnot. I'm just gonna fast forward through this. Here we go, and Unity is finally open. So, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set this main camera. We're gonna set it to a different color because I don't like that color. How about something like this? We're gonna set the main camera color to something like that. Okay. And then from here, we're going to click on sample scene, which, whatever scene you're at. We're going to add a new object, it's going to be UI. Then we're going to go to canvas. Now canvas does a bunch of things, doesn't really matter, but what we do know is we don't need the event system, so we're going to delete that. From here, we're going to go to canvas, and we are going to change constant pixel size. We're going to change to scale with screen size. Perfect, all of that looks good. So then what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it scripts. And then we're going to add a new C# script. I apologize if you guys can hear the fan on my computer. It's kind of going insane because I'm doing so many things and I'm also on my monitor. We're going to name this script Credits Handler. And that's of course a C# script. So then what we can do is double click and boom, it opened here. So from here, we're going to go to the top and we're actually going to add some more libraries. So using Unity Editor, using system.io, using Unity engine.ui. And now we're going to define some variables at the top, and we're going to serialize them just so it'll be really easy for us to access them in the editor. Path is equal to, and this is where I'm choosing to put this. You guys can put your actual credits.txt anywhere you want, and credits.txt is where we're going to store all of our credits. So we're going to create all of the text objects in code, and basically all you have to do when you want to add things to your credits is just update your text file. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of keep going and set up all of these variables. And I'm actually just gonna fast forward through it a little bit for you guys so you guys don't have to watch me painstakingly go over them, but they will all be on the screen momentarily. All right, so these fields right here are just gonna be things for us to interact with in the editor, like I said before. So we're gonna be able to set our path from the editor, the font that we're using, the colors of the headers, compared to like the names, the header sizes, name size, scroll speed, which this is just a random integer. You know, the higher it gets, the faster it is, the lower it gets, the slower it is. And then screen space and divisions, which basically just says how much screen space do we want to break up each name / title. And then we're going to do a few more. All right, so that sets us up for the beginning. So now I'm going to take a break, and we're actually going to create our Credits.txt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to File, New File, Empty Text File, and then we're just going to call it Credits.txt just to be sure. Say New. And now we just need to save as and in the location that we were before. So let's see, let's go to 2020 game projects, credits test, assets, scripts, credits.txt. Now our credits.txt is going to be interesting because we're going to have different identifiers to identify which line is which. So for example, hashtags, these do nothing. And basically the only reason we're going to have it here is just so that you can keep things organized for yourself. They just denote comments. And the only reason these denote comments is because I decided that they do. I program a lot in Python, so it just kind of felt natural at this point. Exclamation points are going to denote headers. So we're going to put game designer. And then if there's nothing on the line, that's just going to be regular name. So we're going to write Tez. And then let's do music designer. Bez. Crimes against Tez. Zez. I don't know. You know, it could be literally anything you want forever. And then we're just going to save that. Now let's get back to credit handler. We're going to create some more functions, right? So we're going to do public void awake. And if you guys didn't know, what awake does is that it basically happens before start in Unity. Awake is a really powerful function that you guys should know how to use. Anything you put in here will happen before anything else, which is super awesome. Because it lets us do some cool things. So like, for example, here, we're going to actually, we're going to parse that credits.txt. So what we're going to do here is stream reader is equal to new stream reader path string one. Sorry, I'm on my smaller keyboard, so forgive me for these errors. String line is equal to an empty string. Bool new start is equal to false. So we're going to say while line equal reader dot read line not equal to null. Open brackets, string first character is equal to line.substring 0,1, which means we're only going to take the first character just to denote you know what it is. Like I said before, exclamation means header, so on and so forth. And we're going to say bool is ignore is equal to first character dot equals hashtag bool is header is equal to the first character dot equals exclamation point. And then we're going to say if is ignore, write a comment, do nothing. That's just for us, just so we know. And we're going to say else if is header. We're going to do new start is equal to true. Headers dot add line dot substring 1. And basically what that says is we're going to take the first character to the end. Now remember that most programming languages are 0 indexed, which means we're going to ignore the exclamation and we're going to take everything else. Then we're going to do an else if new start, which means this is the start of a new header. We're gonna do titles.add new list of string. Then we're gonna say new start is equal to false. And then we're gonna come down here and we're gonna say titles.count -1 dot add the current line. And we want the whole line because remember, exclamations denote headers, hashtags denote comments, and if there's nothing, then it's just a name. And if it's the name, we want the whole line. Close out of that. And then after a while, we're going to do reader.close. And we're going to say if m_font is equal to null. Then we're going to do m_font is equal to resources dot get built in resource type of font, comma, Arial.ttf as font. No, as font. And basically what this says is that if you don't set a font, that it at least goes to Arial, which is a built-in font into Unity. I do this just so that for those of you that didn't want to follow the tutorial, you just wanted the code, you just wanted to drag and drop and make it work, then you know, that is for you guys. You don't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, we can't load resources before the start of Awake, so which is why we do it in Awake. We couldn't do it up here like the rest of these. We had to do it down here, but that's fine because Awake is a pretty easy function to understand and figure out. Now we're going to make another function. It's going to be called public game object new text, and it's going to take in a string label text, and the bool is header. So what we're going to do here is game object, let's call it text obj, is equal to new game object, and we're going to give it label text as a name just because why not. And we're going to say text obj dot transform dot set parent. I'm sorry, I'm really fumbling it right now. This dot transform. Then we're going to say text. Wow, please. Visual Studio is just not agreeing with me today. My text. Say my text is equal to text obj dot add component text. Really not working with me. Then we'll say my text dot text is equal to label text. My text dot font is equal to m_font. My text dot horizontal overflow is equal to horizontal wrap mode dot overflow. Then we're going to do my text dot alignment is equal to text anchor dot middle center. Now we're going to do a quick if else. If is header that we defined above, my text dot font style is equal to font style dot bold, because we want our headers to be bold and kind of stand out a little from the rest of our text, right? We're going to do my text dot color is equal to header color. My text dot font size is equal to header size. And we're just going to do an else. My text dot color is equal to name color. My text dot font size is equal to name size. Simple enough there. And then we're going to do text object that transform a local scale is equal to new vector 3 1.0 f 1.0 f 1.0 f. And the reason we do that is so that it scales regularly. If you don't do this, then it will default to some real funky values. And we're going to do text object dot transform dot position is equal to new vector 3 screen dot width times 0.5 f comma screen dot height times 0.25 f comma 0. And then of course we have to return our text object. Cool. So that's all done. So now we need to, let's write our start function now. So in the start function, what we're gonna do is vector last position equals new vector 3 screen dot width times 0.5 f comma 0 comma 0. Then we're going to do for int I is equal to 0, I is less than headers dot count, because at this point it should be populated from the awake function, right? And count is not a function, that was an accident. I plus plus. We're going to open up our brackets. And we're going to say game object new obj is equal to new text headers I comma true. We're going to form our new header. And then we're going to say vector 3 next position is equal to new vector 3 screen.width times 0.5f. Remember, that's the middle of the screen. And we're gonna do last position.y minus screen.height over screen space in divisions. Because remember that we defined that above. And then the last thing we're going to do is comma 0 because it is a vector 3. And then we're going to do new obj that transform position is equal to the next position and we're going to do last position is equal to the next position, right? Because now that we've gone there, or rather now that we've gone there, that is now the last position and no longer the next position. Then we're going to do credit text dot add new obj. Now we're going to do for int j equals 0, because this is a whole different loop. J is less than titles I.count, because we want every ith list of titles. J++. Forgive me for confusing those. It is late at night. Then we're gonna do next position is equal to this same line, basically. Did not mean to do that. Right? It's gonna be equal to the same line. We can more or less just copy and paste that. We can just take out the vector 3 part because we're not declaring it again. And then we're gonna say game object other obj, or obj, is equal to new text, that function we used from before, titles I with j, false because it is in the header. Then we're going to say the other object dot transform position is equal to next position. Credit text dot add the other object, last position is equal to the next position. All right, and that takes care of our start function. So now we only have one more thing to do, and it's our update. So update is actually pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We're just going to iterate through that giant list of credit text that we made. So for int I is equal to 0, I is less than credit text count I++. Then we're going to say if credit text I is not equal to null, then what we're going to do is credit text I dot transform dot position is equal to new vector 3, credit text I dot transform dot position dot x, comma, credit text I dot transform dot position dot y plus scroll speed comma 0. Close that out. And now we're going to have a quick check, and it's going to say if credits I dot transform dot position dot y is greater than screen dot height times 2. Basically, if we've gone beyond the window, definitely, we're just going to destroy it, right? Because we don't need that bogging up our system. This isn't the most efficient thing in the world as far as generating all of these text objects, but we could at least gain back some efficiency by destroying old ones. We're going to say credits I is equal to null. All right, I do believe this is everything for this. So let's save that and let's go back into Unity. All right, so we have a ton of errors already. Let's see, what doesn't it like? Oh, it doesn't like that I spelled serial ice field completely incorrectly. Oops. Let's see, type or namespace reference vector. Did I spell something wrong? Here it is, vector 3. Okay, it's another one. What else? Resources does not contain a definition for that. So let's look it up. Resources. Resources.get built-in resource type of font. It's compared to the line that I wrote before. I see. Wrote an uppercase in before and it was a lowercase in. All right, so we saw that, right? Yes, no, come on, Unity. All right, no more errors, we did it. So now all we need to do is we need to attach credits handler to canvas. Once I play here, you know, fingers crossing, it should do its thing. And boom, just like that, we had credits. Wasn't that simple? Now, for those of you who are like, oh, why did we do all that stuff in the beginning? Well, let's see. We can click on our canvas here, and then we can change so many things. So scroll speed to 10. Let's say that was too fast. Let's change it to 5. Let's change divisions to... Actually, let's change divisions. Why don't we change the header size here? Why don't we make that 50 and we make the name size 10? And then let's go ahead and change the color. You know, let's do a bunch of things. See what happens. So we maximize on play. And then let's see what happens. And as you can see, it all comes in, all the changes changed, and yeah. So yeah, that concludes the end of the tutorial. You know, you guys can take it upon yourselves to change some things if you want. You know, you can generate the text objects in batches. You can change a bunch of things. You can change alignments. This is just my solution. You know, show me what you guys did. Show me how you guys changed some stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys like the tutorial. It's short, sweet, kind of drag and droppable. Just, you know, just plug it in and boom, it works. And I thought that was kind of awesome. I actually looked around and I didn't really see any tutorials like this. A lot of them were just like really complicated. So yeah, I hope you guys like this. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and all that jazz. Leave a comment in your game if you're using it. I'd love to see it. And of course, you guys can always download the asset below on my website, as with all my tutorials and all the content that I put on here. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.